Hello friends, so here I am for the first live streaming on YouTube. I'm representing HCF, I'm Dr. Pallavi Chaturvedi, and I really thank you all for subscribing with all your heart to my channel, and for all your comments, for liking the videos, and so henceforth I hope we keep going on like this and keep studying together. And so today what am I going to share? Actually, the live streaming main purpose over here today is to spread the word of HHF, to spread the message of HHF all across wherever possible. There are so many homeopaths all over in this world, and who are still not known about what HHF is all about and what kind of work are we doing. Okay, so here I am to talk about what we are doing as homeopaths, and how we are spreading this message of our founder Dr. Milind Rao sir. So when I came first time to meet him in his clinic, and that's around 13 years back. 13 years back I was in college. I was just out of third year, and when I went to his clinic, the first thing I noticed was that he was just cool, calm, sitting in his clinic, and there was no patient on that day. So I was wondering that I don't know what I'm going to learn here, but he just seemed so calm and composed, and I went along with my father to meet him, because my father would accompany me everywhere, and so he wanted to make sure that I'm going at the right place and meeting the right people. So when I met him for the first time, his question was that why do you want to join me and why do you want to learn homeopathy? I told sir I'm doing homeopathy in my college, but then the thing is that I still don't know how to practice it, and I had already joined a GP. I had seen what is done in the hospital because of the IPD of our college, and I always believed that I should do what if I'm studying something, I should practice that and I should not practice something different. So as I was doing homeopathy, I got that some kind of feeling that I should practice it. It's a very beautiful science, but then the problem was I couldn't understand how to practice it. So he just allowed me there, and since then my journey began. So immediately I joined him, he had to go out to meet somebody, like maybe he had home visit or something, and it was just the second or third day in the clinic, and he just told me that you manage patients today. He called me up in the clinic on the landline of clinic, and he told that you see patients and give whatever you want to give. And I was taken aback. I was like, how can I just give whatever, because I didn't know how to prescribe. So then when patient came that day, I was absolutely nervous, okay, and that was my first experience with seeing patient on my own, and I was like, now what to do? And he had this big abscess on his feet, okay, and just in those 2 days he had explained me one very nice rubric, and that was light desire. So the only thing to prescribe I knew was light desire for. What was light desire? He explained to me that there are many meanings of light desire in our books, okay. So light is something that patient wants to know, to assure himself, to gain confidence maybe, or he is in some dark zone where he doesn't know about things and he wants to know, and maybe there is some kind of experience which has had a heaviness, has some heaviness on his mind, and he wants to feel lighter, or maybe he has a very heavy life, or heavy life meaning a lot of workload or a lot of pressure on his head to do things, and he just wants to unload himself. So it could be something like just listening to music and he feels lighter, and then he can work full on again. So light has so many various meanings. So the only thing that abscess patient asked me was, will it be fine, because this is very painful. I was like, oh, he's asking me for light, so let me just pick up this rubric. And the other opposite end of light was dark. So I picked up anxiety darken, and the remedies which came, so something which struck me was stramonium, and I just gave him stramonium. Then sir, I asked the compounder to call up sir and tell him that I am giving him stramonium, is it okay? So he just told, okay, give whatever you want to give. So I was taken aback that it is his clinic, it is his patient, and why, how can he be so generous in allowing me to give medicine also, that to a patient of abscess. I was actually under fear. So I just gave Stram and I sent him. And then I opened the book, okay, I opened Boric and I started reading about stramonium. I was like, abscess mein stram de sakte hain ki nahi, whether I did the right thing or not. So then I was reading the physicals, because I was just passed out of third year, my results were also not out. So then I saw in physical somewhere that abscess was mentioned, okay. So I was like, okay, physicals mein it is somewhere mentioned, so maybe this medicine should work. And when he came back next day in clinic, and I was also back, and the patient told him that he's better. So he looked into my eyes and he didn't say anything, okay. And I was like, I don't know whether he wants to appreciate me or whether he, I don't know what he felt, but he didn't say anything, okay. He just kept going on and on. So the first thing that struck me was that the kind of confidence that he gave me just in 2 days time of meeting him, confidence that I can see patient, okay, I can handle the patient on my own. And I think that confidence was the first thing which has led me up to here, you know. If you know, the when I started my practice also, I was only weeping and weeping just out of college, and within a week's time, with his blessings, I got a place to start practice also. And till date I am practicing in that particular area only. So I was only weeping and weeping, and the only fear that I carried was that whether what will happen if some emergency case comes in my clinic, how will I handle it, because I have only dealt with mind, I have only dealt with homeopathy, and I had not taken experience in hospital, I don't know emergency medicine, what will happen. And that fear was so much on my head that although the confidence that he gave me initially, that played a huge part and huge role in my life, because that is how I have become somewhat near fearless, you can say, that I feel confident of handling this situation where this is unexplored area for me, going live on YouTube, or whether it was doing a webinar, but it was something, the confidence that he gave me and to so many homeopaths in HF, that yes, we can do it. The you know, the main thing that he taught us was that we need to live big. It's not important for us to live long, but it is important for us to live big. There is a huge difference between living long and living big. He, Dr. Milind Rao sir, lived a big life and long life. It's it means a lot, you know. Although he didn't live long, but he lived so big that he will always be remembered by all of us. The kind of living he taught us, it is not important to be alive, it is important to live life. Okay, there is a difference between being alive and living life. So being alive is a state, okay, it's a state, and living life is just crossing that state and going to those unexplored areas, doing what you want to do, to pursue your passions and to pursue your goals, to live for a purpose. Being alive is just feeling your pulse, checking your blood pressure. uh, it's a very conscious way of living, where you are just counting your heartbeat, and you are just thinking that you're just feeling your every breath, that I'm inhaling, now I'm exhaling, now I'm inhaling, now I'm exhaling. But I think living life is what he taught us, that when we live, when we are living, when we live a big life, we forget to inhale and exhale. We are so much drowned in what we have to do, and drowned in our deepest of passions, deepest of desires, that we just are racing. The heart is racing actually, and the breathing is still going on, and we are not even aware of it. Okay, so we have to live and not just be alive. Okay, so this is one message that I want to give to all the homeopaths, that this is what even Dr. Hahnemann has said, that we need to have a mission in our life, and that mission, okay, that mission is to live for the purpose of bringing homeopathy to the highest pedestal, and practicing homeopathy to that utmost precision, where you are counted upon by all the medicos of this world, and nobody can put us down. And in fact, we feel proud to show our results, not only to our patients but to their relatives, to the world all around. Okay, so let's live homeopathy, and this is why the message of my channel was live homeopathy. So this is how, when we live homeopathy, we live it up to our greatest extent, and take this science to that level where we really want to. So when this case came across, I was thinking whether stramonium is going to act at the physical level, because I just prescribed on anxiety, dark and light desire. So that was my biggest query, that how will the medicine act on the physical, that abscess. Okay, and I have not even considered in my repertorization, because in my college I was taught that method. So then I asked him that, sir, how is it possible, because I was seeing him prescribing only on mind section, and that was the time, when I was going to college, and I was seeing how repertorization is done, and how prescription is done, and how physicals are taken into consideration very often. So I'm loving all your messages, and I'm reading them too. So while I asked him this question, I did not know that what is he going to answer, how is he going to answer. He just told that give it time, Pallavi, you will understand. And he just handed over one book to me, that is The Power of Subconscious Mind. And he told me, you read this book. And I was like, okay. So that's the first book I read, that what is subconscious mind. That funda was very new to me. So all the new people, read this book, okay, The Power of Your Subconscious Mind. What is our subconscious mind is? What does it indicate? This is, living comes from subconscious mind. Being alive comes from the conscious mind. Okay, so I was trying to understand what the subconscious mind is. It is something which goes in the backdrop, in the background, that whatever we don't say but we feel. If suppose the teacher shouts at a student in the class, so the child doesn't weep immediately, he just gets terrified and he keeps quiet. So when he gets terrified and he keeps quiet, it's his conscious mind. But when he carries that terror and he lives with that terror for a longer duration and he falls ill, he will get fever, and because of that high fever he doesn't come to school. So that is the subconscious mind where the fear settles. Okay, so that fear settles and the expression is fever. Okay, so we have to inculcate those ideas in our subconscious mind, something that we want to transform, get it transformed into our conscious life. So that is what I learned from that book, first of all. So when I learned this, that then I started changing my thought pattern somehow, that what I really want in life, where do you want to reach in your life, whether it is homeopathy, whether it is your personal life, whatever it is. If we have to reach somewhere, firstly we need to change our thought pattern and settle those ideas in our subconscious mind, what we want to see in our lives. So gradually things will move ahead. So then that was the first step of somewhere trying to understand what mind is all about. So that was the first step where he asked me to understand and reach. Then next level I asked him, sir, how these rubrics are going to make my question was, and I would just continue questioning him day after day until I get a particular answer, a reasonable answer. And so I kept questioning him, and then he told me gradually, and he asked us to attend seminars regularly. He even paid for my seminar, first seminar. He told, you bring your mama along if they don't allow you at home to go outside. So he even paid for it, and he told, if you don't like, then you don't pay me for the seminar fees. If you like, then you come back and pay me. So I returned back with such a positive vibe. My mom was so happy to see so many homeopaths gathering at Matheran that we paid for our seminar finally. My father agreed, and since then on they have never stopped me from attending seminars. And so you have to have that confidence, and you can bring your parents, you can bring your family along to our seminar in case if there is any problem that they are not allowing you to go. So once you come to the seminar, there are so many fundas that get cleared, that why mind is so important, why and how is it going to have that effect on your physical body, what is mind. So our laws that say that medicine, our medicine, homeopathic simillimum, it works from center to periphery, and we need to understand what is center, where is the center. Okay, so I had attended the seminar of those days. So there we were trying to understand what the center is, why our medicines we are giving at this level. There are so many methods going on that medicines are given just on some other ways than ours. So why we consider only mind, and we get excellent results. We have seen those results in blindness, say, or whatever, stammering. There are so many things that we have seen. So how does it happen? Where is the center? How to look for the center? And so center is somewhere from, like right now in India, whatever situation is happening with the Jammu and Kashmir, the Ladakh, 2 union territories made. So those are the periphery of India, right? One of the peripheral part of India. How did this happen? How did this change happen? This decision was made by the center, that is the central government. Okay, so the central government decides and gives those orders to all the peripheries of India, to the other regions of India, and they all follow it. Okay, so center of India is the central government, that is the New Delhi government. Okay, so similarly there is, and the periphery has to follow them, has to follow, and they do follow. Okay, so similarly our body has a center from where the signal is uh, is produced, and then it is followed by the periphery, that is the entire body. So actually the center is our mind. Okay, the center is our vital force, and the language of vital force is coming from our mind. Okay, from what we think, how we feel. So this is the center, and center, it is told that it is vital force. Okay, vital force is that energy which makes our body move. How do we recognize it? Like if we see a cadaver and if we see a live person, like I am talking to you, and if my dead body is there, then what is the difference? So I am moving. Okay, my body is moving, so this indicates that there is an energy which is moving in my body and making my organs move and making me talk. Okay, so here comes the center, how I feel and how I talk, how I express, that expression is from my center, that is a vital force. So vital force speaks in various ways. It will create those thoughts will impact every function of our body. So the cells, they also feel, they also understand. Dr. Kent has said every cell of our body has got a will and an understanding. So vital force expresses through these languages, and these languages, these words, all these feelings, those thoughts, they are perceived by every cell of our body. So when there is a disturbance in the energy of our body, now how does this energy get disturbed? It gets disturbed by our emotions, our intelligence. So when emotion and intelligence are disturbed, it carries those disturbed energies in our body. That disturbed energy will affect a particular target organ. So when that target organ gets affected, it will disturb the functioning of that target organ. So when that functioning gets disturbed, it gets expressed at various levels. It could be that at physiology level, at pathology level, at pathophysiology level, at various levels it gets disturbed. So once if the energy is balanced, and how is the energy balanced? The energy can get balanced by the energy medicine, and our homeopathy is an energy medicine. It is not a physiological dose. We are potentizing it. We are not giving it in crude form. How are we potentizing? We are increasing the power by the method of potentization. We are diluting and energizing. So if we are energizing it, then how can we give it in a physiological form? We cannot give it in the form of physicals, right? So even if we give in the form of physicals, we get results only if the language of medicine and the language of body matches. That is, if the mind, if the disturbed emotion intelligence of the person is matched with the simillimum given, then only it works at the level of physicals also. But to be sure that this is the medicine, we have, so that is how it is done, we take physicals also into consideration, little mind also into consideration, and that is how we say that now this is simillimum. But even if we don't know the physicals of a remedy, suppose it is not proved thoroughly, we don't have a good proving of a remedy, then how do we give it? So if we have a concrete understanding of the mind section of that remedy, we can use it in any pathology also. So once the energy is balanced by our right medicine, then everything can be possible. Every pathology, every pathophysiology, every physical problem can be taken into consideration. And this was how I was made to understand that if center is taken care of, periphery can be taken care of, okay. And this is possible only because of the seminars that I got this kind of understanding, that I got to know that even belladonna and aconite like remedies can be given for chronic cases also, for cases of psoriasis, for cases of renal colic. I have used these acute remedies which we were taught that they are acute, okay, they are psoric remedies, the psychotic remedy or the syphilitic remedy. It used to be very confusing to me because there were many remedies which had all three miasms. So this was my next question. You know why I'm dealing with these questions? This is for the newcomers, for the people who are joining us new. They have these questions which I had when I joined HHF, that why psoric, why antipsychotic, and why not an HHF? Why these remedies are not given in this form? Like recently we learned Thuja, okay, and I gave Thuja and even allergic rhinitis, but that was antipsychotic remedy. So then this was like this is antipsychotic and this is given for cold cough. No, it cannot be given for cold cough. So you cannot just sidetrack a remedy on the basis of miasms. So how do we understand that, you know, this is psychotic, this is psoric, this is syphilitic? So after coming in HHF, I found it so easy, you know, that practice homeopathy so easy, like just how you eat dal rice. So homeopathy should be like dal rice. You just have to mix and give. You have to understand what are the basic essentials and you just give it. So how do we make it easy? To make it easy, just practice by the way we do in HHF, and HHF will make homeopathy so easy that every homeopath will, instead of going for a course in emergency medicine, instead of working in IPD, they should just feel like only practicing homeopathy. So this is my message to all the students of BHMS, that instead of running here and there, just have confidence in your science and come to HHF, and you will just sail through and reach to so great heights that you have never imagined yourself to be as homeopaths, not as anything else, okay. So just have that confidence. So why not anti-psoric, why not antipsychotic, why not all this? Because this all has complicated homeopathy, and all this I feel with the practical experience that I have gained in my practice, that it is only theory and theory and theory just to pass your exams. You remember this and keep it aside, really just keep it aside, because when we give remedies we don't consider all this. We just have to understand the patient, what the patient is saying, convert it into appropriate rubrics. Main thing is understanding the patient, okay. Understand the patient, convert it into rubrics and give the remedy in appropriate potency. You will get the result for sure. And how to go about it, how to reach to the simillimum, it is your efforts. It is your efforts, how you understand, how many sessions you have attended in HHF. Our branches are all across Maharashtra, all across India. It is spreading gradually, and we have our books published. We have 6 books of HHF, 2 books of Asha, and you need to buy them if you want to rise higher, and if you feel that you are unable to attend our sessions and seminars, that at least buy these books. Once you buy these books, then you will be through. You contact us, and this medium I am going to use it in future, and many of our speakers will use it in future. I will make sure that we teach homeopathy at all levels, and to every part of the world it has to reach what we are practicing, okay. So not wasting time, let me just do the topic that we are supposed to do for the day. Any questions if you have, you put in the comments. I'm reading all the comments coming through. So if there is anything you want to ask, any newcomers who feel that something is needed, something needs to be sorted, right now you can just comment in this video. So our topic which was going on was Ignatia, Natramur and Sepia. Now, just disregarding of all the miasms and the intercurrent remedies, the constitutional remedies, we just practice on the current state of the individual. Why current state of the individual? Because this state covers all your past. Whatever you are today, you are because of your past. Whatever you are today, you are not without your past. Okay, your past is always there in your present, and your future will be taken care of only with your present. How you think today, you will become tomorrow. So today is important. Now it is important. What has made you come today to the doctor is more important than why you went to the doctor 10 years back. So just focus on what the patient is saying today, how he is feeling today. Okay, and whatever he is saying about the past, it will be based, you have to consider it as how he feels for his past even today. If he doesn't have any feeling for the past but only anxiety about how things will happen, anxiety about future, then consider anxiety about future. If a patient is talking today but he is only thinking of 30 years back, then do consider dwelling. There is a rubric of dwelling, recalling. So then you consider the rubrics of the past, but it has to be felt in the present to consider it at the moment. So we just take the present, persistent, predominant, what he is saying, how he is saying and why he is saying. Okay, so staying focused to the topic, I have made a small PPT, and this PPT I will share with you of the difference, compare and contrast between Sepia, Ignatia, Natramur. So while doing this, one second, So why did I consider these three remedies? You know, while it was just a trio of remedies, that how a person evolves in his life and how a lady can transform herself in these three states. Okay, so when the child is born, when a baby is born, she is sensitized to few things, and she feels that, you know, I have to be careful, I don't have to hurt my parents, and if I cry, my mama also cries, and she can't go for work. So how the child gets sensitized, you know, and if somebody is taking care of her really well, she feels for that pain of her parents, and and she feels the love of that parent, okay, the love of that the people surrounding her. So when the child feels love of her people surrounding, so she also doesn't cry so much, she also doesn't behave in that inappropriate way of making them awake all night. So she also is cooperating with the parents. Okay, when she is cooperating with the parents love her more, and she is gelled with the parents so well. Now what happens, that someday if suddenly the mama disappears, she goes out for some work, so this child feels for that missing love or missing accompaniment, and she stops feeding and she just becomes silent. She doesn't even sleep, she just stays with that starey look and doing nothing, and any kind of feed given, she refuses. Any water sip, she just refuses. She just stays silent, staring, no reaction. So this is where, you know, and when that mama comes back, still there is no reaction, because the question is that when you were there and I was also cooperating, why did you leave me? Okay, so this is how Ignatia builds. This is how Ignatia is formed. So Ignatia is a sensitive child, a sensitive girl or a boy who feels for the pain of her parents and who reciprocates for the love of her parents. Okay, so when Ignatia grows, she grows with that morals in her. Okay, that what is right and what is wrong. Her parents also sensitively deal with her and they teach her the morals, and she imbibes those morals in her. Now when Ignatia grows further, why we consider Varsha Deshmukh about Sepya's maternal instinct. Okay, so 1 second, I need to read that message again. So when she grows further, how we say that Ignatia got transformed to Natramur. So when she grows further, what happens is that there is comparison. Okay, there is always comparison, and people have the tendency to compare. So when she's compared with, she doesn't like it, and she starts feeling as she grows older, when she grows older and she has those beauty features, you know, her hair grow. Why we consider about Sepya's maternal instinct exaggerated state? Why only we consider Sepya's anger? Okay, so as she grows further, she sees that she's compared with other children or other girls, or you know, of her age, and she observes that she has such long hair, she wears such beautiful clothes, and then because of the moral, she had never told to anybody that I want this, I want that. But when she does not say about this, but she starts feeling it inside, that you know, she has better clothes, she has such beautiful hair, I don't do any such thing, I'm very simple. So maybe, you know, I should also do something like this, and she starts feeling a lacking inside. And when she starts feeling a lacking inside and she wants to be like them, so she can't express openly. Initially she hesitates, but as the parents were in that state where they have sensitized her and built those morals, so then they don't accept her different viewpoint immediately. So she starts rebelling and she starts reacting. I will show the PPT in just 5 minutes. I'll just explain this basic journey of transformation of these remedies. So she doesn't speak up openly, but gradually as the state of Natramur comes, she starts expressing that I also want it like this. She doesn't talk about it outside, but she gets influenced by those powerful influences outside. Powerful, it could be that a very rich family, it could be a high status family, or you know, outside there are a lot of influences where the child gets influenced that I want to wear clothes of this standard, I want to wear these short skirts, and I want to have these short hair, and I want to put this earphone, and I want to watch YouTube, and I want to do this and that. So when that influence starts settling in her mind, her anger starts popping out, and when her anger starts coming out, she starts fighting with her parents, and parents get more harsh on her, that how can you talk like this, why are you asking for all this. So then she feels it all the more, that as it is I don't have, and on top of that my parents are also behaving so rudely to me. And then that, you know, the feeling of indignation starts settling in the child, and she transforms into Natramur gradually. So when she transforms into Natramur, she remembers that this is how my parents behaved to me and I'm not going to listen to them. And she throws tantrums. Natramur throws tantrums at home that, you know, it is there in jealousy women between, jealousy children between. So Natramur, you know, this Ignatia also has jealousy, but Ignatia jealousy is when the newborn is born. So Ignatia gets all the attention and all the love, and she is the center of her household. But as a newborn comes, so then that state advances further, you know, where Ignatia starts reacting, and but then she keeps herself in morals. She will, you know, she will not hurt the sibling or the child, but she will just hit the child when nobody is seeing, or pinch the child, and but she will not hurt to damage, cause further damage to the child. But Natramur jealousy is one step higher. Okay, the intensity of her feeling is little more, because Ignatia is subdued by her morals, but Natramur comes into shamelessness, where she loses her shame, okay, and she goes into shamelessness. Then she will just overreact to things, and she will forget what she should be doing and what are her limits, okay. Then she will become that aggressive child, and I just want it. I also want to wear dresses like her. I also want my haircut to be like that. I want to go to abroad. You know, these are the things what Natramur will say and feel. So when Natramur is brought under control by the parents, and when they want her to stay within limits and work on, they teach her, you know, they tell her that if you want to be like that, if you want all this, you have to earn it, you have to work hard. And that is how, when Natramur starts taking effort, when she starts working hard for her purposes, then gradually she becomes, so Natramur is an independence, lack of independence. So when she starts putting effort for what she has yearned for, then she gets gradually transformed to Sepia. Okay, so when she comes into Sepia, what she will do, she will become industrious, she will become more hardworking, and she will only think about working for others, because now she feels, as she has matured further in her life, she feels that this is how, you know, in bringing happiness. I was watching this good movie, name this, what we call, Bawarchi. Bawarchi by Rajesh Khanna, of Rajesh Khanna. So in that he uses one sentence very frequently, and a very beautiful sentence. You know, the kind of happiness that we get by serving others, it is further more than doing anything for ourselves. So when you help others or when you serve others, that happiness is the real happiness. Okay, so Sepia, when Natramur gets transformed to Sepia, when she understands this, that why only be self-oriented, I can work for others and feel further more happy. So that is the kind of maturity that Sepia holds, you know. She starts working for the family as a whole rather than just focusing on her wretchedness. She pursues her goals, and she becomes she transforms. A Natramur child gets transformed into a Sepia adult, okay, adolescence you can say. So by the time she comes into adolescence, she can get transformed to Sepia, and where she feels that I have to work hard, I have to study better, and I have to make myself more worthy rather than just with the materialistic gains. I have to have those values, and I have to be more understanding towards the needs of society, the needs of the family, the needs of my career, that what I have to become in my life, rather than just focusing that I have to be elegant and I have to so rather than just being elegant, I have to be what I want to be, and not just what is told in society. And so Sepia gets transformed from Natremure in this way, and she becomes an anarchist. She feels that whatever the society is doing, I can differ by those norms. It is not necessary for me to follow those norms. So this is how it gets transformed into an independent Sepia, an anarchist Sepia. She thinks differently than other kids. She thinks differently than the society, and she wants to do things differently. So this is the transformation of these three remedies. And why I did not consider pulsatilla in this, you know, the other doctors who come around, they so one of them told me that why didn't you take pulsatilla, because pulsatilla is very close to Ignatia. I was like, yes, definitely. But then when I am doing something like morals, when I am considering something like dignified, when I am considering something so responsible and dancing, I think pulsatilla doesn't fit into that zone. You know, so Natremure is dignified, Ignatia is moralistic, and Sepia is in dancing. In dancing, all three are there, but dancing differs in all these three. And while pulsatilla comes close to them, you know, pulsatilla is very attention seeking, and it is more attention seeking and more seeking for love. Okay, more seeking for love, and still not very faithful to that love. You know, when I see Natremure is there in loyalty in relationships, whereas pulsatilla is manipulative. Wherever she gets love, she will go there. You know, affection absorbs. But then where she feels that I can get love from your also, she will manipulate this individual and go to seek that love also. So she will seek love from everywhere, and she will no one will complain about pulsatilla. Pulsatilla would create that environment where everyone wants to love her, and nobody is in a position to criticize her for anything. So slightest of neglect and she weeps and she faints and she will get that love. But for Ignatia, for Sepia, it is little difficult to deal with, because they are not manipulative. They are very upfront and they are very straightforward. So if Ignatia has a problem, she will shriek and she will convey that, you know, you have neglected me, or you have not given me that love. So this is how Ignatia will convey. But Ignatia will not want to weep in front of the individual. Whereas pulsatilla will easily weep and say, oh, I want love. Okay, so means you need to love me, and weep like anything. So this is the difference in pulsatilla and these three remedies. These three remedies, you know, they are averse to company. They want to stay alone, and especially Ignatia Natremure wants to even weep alone. They don't like to weep in front of anyone. They are that secretive also. So whereas pulsatilla will weep anywhere, you know, to gain that sympathy. She likes sympathy, whereas Natremure has biggest problem with sympathy. Sympathy and pity are two big problem areas for Natremure. Natremure would not want anybody to enter that private zone where they can see her emotions through and through. Natremure has that dignified image that I am that calm, composed, serious person, and I have my own set of boundaries where nobody can enter, and you know, Natremure will maintain that image where you can't approach her very easily or question her easily, and you won't get even answers if you question her. You will only get that firing if you question her. She will express her irritation, but she would not want anybody to cross their limit and enter her zone of emotions. She wants to stay away. She wants to keep others also away. Ignatia Natremure are in hiding himself, although Sepia is not in hiding. You know, Ignatia Natremure, why they are in hiding? Because they don't want to show their emotions, And Sepia is way cut through. She will express herself upfront. If you know, that is why Sepia lands in delusion poor, because her feeling of poor will be seen through and through. That because her need is not getting binded by relationships. Her need is to make her identity, to become something and to be somewhere. So she has crossed those stages of Ignatia Natramur. The journey, that is why I told you, the journey of Ignatia Natramur and Sepia, where Ignatia and Natramur are more relationship oriented, more oriented to maintaining relationship, to maintain their expectations, and at the same time express in a way that they also maintain her expectation. Whereas Sepia goes further across, and she comes out of the zone of relationships and she fulfills whatever she enjoys doing. Okay, and that is why it enters in a zone of independence. Okay, so Pulsatilla is more feigning, more of manipulation and more of weeping and expressing directly that, you know, you caress me and you love me. But then Ignatia Natram will not cry like her that you love me, but it will express in some form, some subtle form, that I need your love, and if not given they will stop dancing also. So Ignatia will go in disconcerted, Natramur will not go in disconcerted, but Natramur will not, it will stop dancing, but at the same time it will feel that wretchedness, and it will convey in a very upfront manner, in a shameless manner, that what are you doing? You are not even taking care of me. But to that person only, and to that person it will, he will convey when they are alone, not in front of anybody else. Nobody will know what is going on in their bedroom. So Natramur is very one-to-one. It is not in front of the entire crowd or in front of family. In front of family, Natramur will just prepare that mask and keep that mask always in front of the face, where nobody understands that what is going on in his life or her life. So this is how Natramur will always maintain that dignified image in front of everyone around except that one person. So this is how it will go. I'll just show you the PPT and we can discuss further little. Just a minute. So I hope everyone can read this PPT. So this is HHF is equal to Rao sir and his team is going to advance day in and day out, and I want you all to be a part of this big team and promote and propagate homeopathy and HHF in all the ways possible by you all. So this is Ignatia, Natramur, Sepia. These are the common points, okay, that they all three are in dancing, in vivacity, in precocity, in libertinism. They want to explore their sexuality also when given a chance. Traveling desire, cares, full of audacity, industrious. They three are under being abused, anger suppressed, domination, embarrassment, fright, grief, love, disappointed, reproaches and being neglected. Not able to read? Okay. Are you able to read now? Because I am able to read through the mobile. Oh, okay, fine. Just a moment. Okay, this is fine. So these are the common points of Ignatia, Natramur and Sepia. And next is again the common points where there is anxiety, suspiciousness, jealousy. All three are indwelling, envy, secretive, and suicidal disposition from sadness. Sadness, if you see in all age groups, it is present in these three remedies. Sadness puerperal in girls before puberty, menopause during, haughty, admonition aggravate, kindly, anger violent, company aversion, desire solitude, obstinate, misanthropy, injustice cannot support, fastidious, consolation aggravate. Now, when you see the differences, what is the difference between all three? Anyways, I am reading it out. I hope I am audible to you all. So, if you are not able to see the PPT, you at least hear what I am saying. So, what is the difference is that Ignatia will bear the suffering without outrage. Okay. Mildness. Ignatia is in mildness. And it goes into disconcertedness, in the state of disconcerted, sensitive to moral impressions, ailments from loss of job and position. So, loss of job is the job she was doing, now someone else is doing. That what position I held in my house, now somebody else is holding. So, that is what affects Ignatia. That where I was standing, now somebody else is standing, and now you are not considering me at all. So, this is where Ignatia goes into disconcerted. So, there was a young girl who got, she was just thrown out of her job, and she had worked in that company for 1.5 years, a very young girl, and suddenly they told that we don't want you anymore. And she was devastated. She did not understand what to do, why they have removed me out of the job. She was just not able to bear it, and she just sat at home for another year. For that entire duration, she stopped going out of the house, and she started getting those white hair, precocity of precociously grey hair, okay, and intense itchy scalp. I told this case also on the video, the earlier videos. So, job is very important to Ignatia, and that too, if you just remove her without giving her proper reason, she will just go into that mode where she can't take it and she can't understand, and she's searching herself. That's why Ignatia is there in searching on floor, where she will just sit and her eyeballs will keep moving on the floor, and she's trying to understand that what went wrong, where did I go wrong, why did they do this to me. And that is how she keeps searching on the floor, that where does she stand in the eyes of others, and where does she stand now, what she has to do now, why did they do this to her, and what is her value in the eyes of others. That is where she keeps rolling, searching on the floor and trying to figure out that why this happened. So, this is how she goes into discomfort and stops herself from doing any routine work. Whereas if you see Natramur will always keep that image of exclusive charlatan, that she is very smart and she knows that how she has to portray herself. Even though she is deeply hurt, her dignified self will not show that hurt to anybody. She is loyal in relationships, but when that relationship goes for a toss, that loyalty also goes for a toss. Okay, mathematics inability for, although they don't understand how to go about, but then they will, once they are into a relation, they will just remain committed to it. Now Sepia on the other hand has a different journey to see. It's there in delusion poor and delusion as if she could strain easily herself, independent, impatience working while, rest cannot until things are in proper place. So if you see Sepia, she is more of a performer. Whereas if you see Ignatia and Natrimure, more than performer, they are into relationships. Okay, although Sepia fulfills all her relationships, but she feels that she is performing more than fulfilling the needs of relations only. So Ignatia, if you see the jealousies when the newborn gets all the attention, if you see Natrimure, jealousies between women, between children, and Ignatia again, cowardice, cannot express her own opinion, will go in disconcert and fear invalidity. Invalidity is very strong. And Natrimure, delusion wretched, feels wretched while she looks in the mirror and desires full that the all that the other person is using. So that other person makes feel Natrimure the wretchedness that she has. She has whatever, I also want it, and jealousy is between that other person and herself, and that is where she starts competing with that other person, but at the same time she feels that she is wretched. So she never feels at peace with herself, and whenever she looks at that other person who is using other things, she feels wretched. But when she is away from it, when she is at home, that wretchedness is not there. There she is just bold enough and no dignified, keep feeling for herself. Fear of being pitied, she doesn't want that other person should feel sympathy on her and pity her. Okay, already done in the videos. Sepia lies with eyes closed, alone in the graveyard, abusive towards mother. Now why Sepia is an abusive towards mother? So mother is that nurturance, mother is that caring figure. Okay, so Sepia anger is that extreme anger. Although Sepia is that caring for everyone, but if that care where she misses from that person who was like a mother figure to her, she will go into that abusive mode. Sepia is very upfront, it will not hide her feelings. That is why it is not there in hiding herself. So Sepia is what she feels, she will just speak out and she will behave in that manner. She will stay indifferent to that person to whom she has felt that anger. Okay, so abusive mother towards mother being the most important figure in her life who has given her birth. But if that person who has given her birth only neglects her and puts her down, then she will not take it easily. She will just get abusive towards that person. And fear consumption where she feels that if she keeps doing so much and so much in her life, where she is alone in the graveyard and not valued for, she will just responsibility. She will just feel, she will have that fear that if I keep performing so much, I will just get consumed and I will die out. Die out meaning I will get consumed and my existence will further deteriorate. Despair of miserable existence she has. So this, whatever existence is there, it is already miserable, and if I get consumed more in doing so much, then I will just die. I will die and I will not be of any use. I will not be of any energy. My entire vitality will go for a toss. So this is what Sepia feels. And further PPT is over. I had just made these few slides which I am just showing once again. So your queries I want to know now. Indifference lies with half eyes closed. Just a minute. So, indifference, half eyes closed. Where is half eyes closed? There is nothing called half eyes closed. Lies with eyes closed ever. It is not half eyes closed. So, I hope this 1 hour session was little fruitful for the old timers, for the ones already on Telegram, and the new ones also. And we will do it, continue it doing, and I will expect the same from all of you over here. The admins of Telegram group, here I am, wait. So the admins of our Telegram group and the speakers of HHF from all across Maharashtra, we have our centers at so many places, and I would want all of you to come on this platform and share your experiences and spread our science and our method everywhere possible through this medium. Just use it, guys. So all the best to you all. Thank you so much for your love and attention and appreciation. Bye bye. Have a good day. Good night. Saturday night. Enjoy.